We have just completed making double crochet each stitch around. This is the skull cap or kippah, and this kippah is going to be 4 inches from the center to the edge. If you prefer a smaller one, you can make it whatever size you want. Just stop the double crochet rounds when it's almost the size you want, and then we'll have just a very small border. It won't really give it much more dimension from that. So we're going to do with this one, we're going to repeat the previous round, which is double crochet in each stitch until the kippah measures 4 inches from the center. And what way you're going to measure that is just kind of lay it out flat. It's going to curl under on one side. Get out your tape measure. Put your 0 at the edge, and when it gets to the middle, it looks like I got about another inch to go. And it looks like about 2 rounds to the inch, so I'll have about 2 more rounds to go. So I will come back to this video when I finish those 2 rounds, and we'll show you what to do next. I've completed those 2 rows, and now I'm going to measure again, and it's just below 4 inches is exactly how I want it. It actually is right on 4 inches, and so this is how we're going to finish this thing off. Okay, because we have this tall stitch here and we want to blend it back down into the stitches that are after it, we're going to have to shorten it. So we're going to make half double crochets in the next 3 double crochets to the next size shorter stitch. Okay, now that we've done that, we want to go shorter still, so let's go to single crochets. So let's single crochet in each stitch all the way around. As a refresher, a single crochet, you insert your hook in the stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over, and draw through 2. And that's your single crochet, and you do that all the way around till you come back to your stitch marker. Okay, and I'm going to stop this, and then I'll turn it back on when we get to the stitch marker. So you can pause the video here and single crochet the rest of the way around. Alright, I've come to the stitch marker, and I'm going to single crochet in the stitch that has the stitch marker. I'm going to take the stitch marker out now. Just remove it. And now we still have 3 half double crochets over here, so we're going to slip stitch in each of those. You can go through both loops or just through the top. I'm going to go through both. And a slip stitch. Let's draw up a loop. Draw the first loop through the second loop. That's 2, and we have 1 more to go. Insert your hook, draw up a loop, draw the first loop through the second loop. Now you can call this finished, or you can add a decorative trim. Depending on what material you're using, it will fan out further for some. This one cupped more like a child's hat, but it'll stretch to fit. So you can finish it off now, cut your yarn and draw in your tail, or you can do a decorative trim. The decorative trim that I like for this is reverse single crochet. So you're going to chain 1. Now we're going to go back this way. So in the stitch just before it, we're going to go underneath that slip stitch and right into that stitch below, draw up a loop, and draw through two loops. That's a reverse single crochet because we're going the opposite direction. And we're going to go in the next stitch, insert your hook, draw up the loop. It's going to twist. It's supposed to do that. Draw through 2. Going back into the one before it, insert your hook, draw up a loop, draw through 2. You get a little closer. We're going back to the right. Keep your work in your yarn behind. Insert your hook. Draw up a loop. Yarn over. Draw through 2. Insert your hook. Draw up a loop. Yarn over. Draw through 2. Okay, this is trying to focus on the lettering. Let me turn it over so it's plain back. Okay. That's better. Okay, and you see it's starting to make like a little beaded edge on the on here, like a braid or a piping. And you do that all the way around in each stitch. And you see it still has some give and stretch. So I'm going to turn off the camera now. You can pause your video and finish doing your reverse single crochet all the way around to the beginning. I don't know why it keeps going out of focus. I think it's the white paper. But you can't see as well with the dark background. Okay. So anyway, hit pause, and I will see you back at the beginning of the round. Okay, I've worked my way back around to the beginning. So I'm going to go back into that first stitch and make my single crochet, and I'm going to leave a tail. Pull up a loop a couple inches long and cut it below the stitch and pull it out the rest of the way. Now when I draw my tail in, I will just draw it back through these stitches here at the beginning. Let's see, get my needle out. Now to hide this, I'm going to go back to front through here and bring my yarn over again and through there. Okay, and now just take my needle and run it up through the stitches like so. And clip it with just a little bit sticking out, and then tug on it so it all gets buried. Then on the inside, I'm going to draw that tail up tight so the hole closes. Weave your yarn around through those center stitches. Go clockwise because you're on the back of it. If you're working it from the front, then you want to go counterclockwise. Unless you're left-handed and you're going the other way. Okay, and now I'm just going to weave the end up through the stitches little ways. And trim it off. Tug it in to bury it. And there is a little skull cap, a kippah, a yarmulke, whatever you want to call it. So, I hope you enjoy it. Happy crocheting.